The modernization of the Saint-Bernard-de-la-Colle border crossing launched in winter 2025 is progressing well, and the Canada Border Services Agency wishes to inform port of entry users that a new and important phase of the project will begin in the coming days. Construction of the new Travelers PRI. Wrecked, abandoned, or hazardous vessels can pose threats to the environment, local communities and economies. Through the Oceans Protection Plan, the Government of Canada continues to take action to address problem vessels and ensure owner accountability. The Canadian Coast Guard has intervened on. The injured inmate was evaluated by staff members and transported to an outside hospital to receive treatment and has since returned to the institution. The Agassiz detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the institution are presently investigating the incident. The assailants have been. Canada is leading the way as International Civil Aviation Organization member states assemble in Montreal to work together to make international civil aviation safe, secure, accessible, and build stronger connections to grow our economy. Yesterday, the Honourable Stephen McKinnon, Minister of Trans. The Honourable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met with Syed Badr bin Hamad bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Oman's Foreign Minister, on the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York City, New York. In their first in-person meeting, the ministers reflected on more than 50 years of bilateral We, the G7 foreign ministers of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom and the United States of America and the High Representative of the European Union, met on the margins of High-Level Week at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. We expressed concerns around Russia. Canada has been highly engaged with Haiti for decades to promote security, stability, democracy, and sustainable development. As part of Canada's ongoing efforts to support the security situation in Haiti, the Honourable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, announced new funding of $60 million. The Honourable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, announced new funding of $60 million to support multilateral efforts aimed at stabilizing the situation in Haiti. The announcement was made during the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Week in New York City, New York. The funding is B. The inmates' next of kin have been notified. As in all cases involving the death of an inmate, the Correctional Service of Canada will review the circumstances. CSC policy requires that the police and the coroner be notified. To build the fastest-growing economy in the G7, the Government of Canada is supporting the development of a skilled workforce by expanding work-integrated learning opportunities for students with private sector employers across Canada. Today, the Honourable Melanie Joly, Minister of Industry and Me. The Government of Canada is moving forward with the implementation of the Voluntary Assault-Style Firearms Compensation Program for individual firearms owners, starting with a pilot in Nova Scotia that begins today. The compensation program will then open to all eligible firearms owners with a NOTI. Wrecked, abandoned, or hazardous vessels can pose threats to the environment, local communities and economies. Through the Oceans Protection Plan, the Government of Canada continues to take action to address problem vessels and ensure owner accountability. The direction instructed the owner to relock. Today, we celebrate the outstanding leadership of Vernon Lewis of Onion Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan and Craig Casimel and Peter Luggy of Stella 10 First Nation in British Columbia, the 2025 recipients of the National First Nations Water Leadership Award. This award highlights the critical role. Border Services officers searched the vehicle and found nicotine and unmarked tobacco products with an estimated combined market value of $114,000, including. Border Services officers seized the goods and the vehicle. Following an investigation, CBSA criminal investigators laid multiple charges under. The Honourable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, spoke with Marco Rubio, United States Secretary of State, on Sunday. During the call, Minister Anand and Secretary Rubio discussed the urgent need for the United Nations Security Council to adopt a resolution authorizing a strengthened security. The Canadian Coast Guard's inshore rescue boat stations in Quebec are winding down seasonal maritime search and rescue services. The following stations in Quebec are already closed. The following stations will close on. The public can report an incident 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by calling the As we begin respiratory infectious diseases season, the Government of Canada is investing in critical research infrastructure to ensure that public health and immunization programs are as effective as they can be in protecting the health of Canadians and that Canada is ready for future pandemics. And Charles Sousa, Member of Parliament for Mississauga, Lakeshore, on behalf of the Honourable Stephen Guilbeault, Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture and Minister responsible for official languages, together with Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, will participate in a Parks Canada and Histo. The summit will bring together thought leaders from across the public, private, academic and international spheres to explore how competition can help build a more affordable, prosperous, and resilient economy. Domestic and international experts will discuss actionable strategies to make markets war. Yesterday, the Honourable David J. McGuinty, Minister of National Defence, traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet with United States Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. During yesterday's meeting, the two discussed the long-standing bilateral defense relationship and close military-to-military cooperation.